Warm up the mind, lace up the plan, stretch out the vision, we run it again. I design days like a playbook page, color code gold, then I lift that weight. Intervals, inbox, calendar sprints, brain doing burpees, focus on 10%. Boardroom baseline, pivot on the glass, quarter hour drills, how I handle the pass. Treat every loss like film I can watch, slow it down frame by frame, relax. Business like sports, I train for this. Money, power, respect, that game I live. Hit that brainwave switch, then I'm locked in quick. From the ground to the peak, yeah, I build that brick. Business like sports, I bleed for this. Leadership, hustle in my callous fist. Hit that brainwave switch, watch the whole world flip. From a thought to a thing, I design a script. Neurons run laps when the doubt talk loud. I reroute tracks, take a different route. Connectivity buzzing like a huddle at half. I pass vision out, then we all attach. Chest day meetings, leg day calls, heavy decisions, low rest high call. Still I stack habits like reps on a rack. They sit blind deposits and trust comes back. Who leads when it hurts? Who speaks when it's tense? Who shares every win? Who holds every L? I coach my own mind from the bench to the helm. Every thought is a drill, every fit gets spelled. F-A-C-E, lace it, race it. Heart rate rise, but I still embrace it. Business like sports, I train for this. Quick. From the ground to the peak, yeah, I build that brick. Business like sports, I bleed for this. Vision, hustle in my callous fist. Hit that brainwave switch, watch the whole world flip. From a thought to a thing, I design that script.
Right. Welcome to the Mindset Mondays. This is for clarity and direction. So you know how we love to do. We love to set clarity and intention because without clarity, we might have confusion. If there's confusion, we don't have any movement. Go ahead and put where you're from in the chat. Go ahead and put where you're from in the chat. The reason why we have you put where you're from in the chat is so that way you can network with each other as well. If you see someone that's in your city or neighboring city, you can potentially meet up with them. And it's nothing like building in person. It's cool to be on the Zoom, but it's even better to be in the room. So connect with each other. Today, we're going to go over productivity systems. Now, I will mention both internal systems and external systems because systems are what allows you to be more effective with your time. And we know over the last week, we've been discussing the single most important factor that either helps you succeed or hinders your success is going to be what you do with the time that you have. Right. And what you do with the time that you have is predicated on the system that you have. So I want you to think about this. The acronym for system is saving yourself significant time, energy, money. If your current lifestyle, your current system is draining your energy, draining your time, draining your money, I want you to think about, is that system workable for you? If it is, put workable in the chat. If it's not, go ahead and put non-workable. Remember, it's not about right or wrong. It's about what's workable and non-workable. And today is a good day for a great day. So have a lot of energy with what you do and be optimistic because what may look like something negative on the other side of it could be something so positive. All right. So what you may be looking at your situation and say, oh, my system is not helping me right now. My system is actually hindering me. It's hurting me. Well, let's not look at the negatives. Let's look at the notifications. Now, the negatives, you might harp on that and then we create a negative spiral, right? If you look at the notifications, it's telling you which area you could put more intention in that will allow you to get better results. If that makes sense, put makes sense in the chat. And I want you to be fluent with the chat. I want you to be smooth and I want it to be fast so we can pick up and go. All right, remember, we are on 3 channels right now. We're getting ready to be on 4. We're going to go to Twitch if we decide to. I might just keep it at Instagram, Zoom, and YouTube right now. So depending on how you would like to participate, if you want to participate, you can be on Instagram. If you want to participate, you can be on Zoom. But if you're on YouTube just looking in, then you know, write in the comments section. If you have any questions or concerns during this time, go ahead and let me know. I see Philly in the chat. I see Atlanta in the chat. Jersey in the chat. Okay, great. All right. So when we talk about becoming more effective in less time, The idea is to create a system that will save us time, energy, and money. How do we do that? Well, we see what's workable and we see what's non-workable. So we asked you just a minute ago to double check. Basically, is you're doing an audit on yourself to double check if your system is working for you or against you. So now some of you might give me pushback with this, but it's an open dialogue. I'm not here to talk at you. I'm here to talk with you. But essentially, this is what's happening. What's happening is I've gotten some downloads that I think would be beneficial for people. So I'm sharing them with you all. It doesn't mean that what I say is 100% true. Go ahead and do your own background check on what I'm saying. Go and do your own actual research on what I speak on. But I'm here to help us grow and move forward. And if you have anything to add to the conversation, by all means, please go ahead and let us know. So when we think about being more effective in less time, the idea is to put ourselves in a position of power to gain back our power and authority and autonomy of our day. Now, when you think about that, how does your day feel? Do you feel like your day is consumed of you doing errands all day for everyone else, and then by the end of the day, you have maybe 1 to 2 hours to yourself? Or do you have no hours to yourself? Do you have children? Do you have a significant other? And just kind of think about that. If you work an average 9 to 5 and you have the weekends off, you have about 20% of your time to do whatever you want to do on those weekends. However, if you do have children, you have to slash that in half. Now you have about 10% of time to work on yourself, your business, or any other things that you like. And if you have a significant other, you're probably going to want to spend time with them. So you slash that in half, you really only have about 5% of time to yourself. And you should ask yourself, is that enough time to get things done that you would like to get done? If the answer is no, it's not enough time, then you know by default you need to become more effective in less time. This is why we drive to work or we use transportation instead of walking most times, because we know it'll help us get there faster. So when it comes to having a better life, when it comes to having a better overall quality of life, the way that you use your time will matter. For example, and remember, we're doing the mindset in the beginning, then we'll go to the actual structure um, at the next half. But I want you to think about it this way. If you are in a space where you have an opportunity to improve your life, which things would you improve? Now, I would love to say, let's focus on the things that we can control the most first. The things that we can control the most first is what we can control, which is our internal systems. Somebody put internal systems in the chat. Someone put internal systems in the chat. So we're live right now on Zoom, YouTube, and Instagram. So I'm looking at all the comments on all three places. And I want you to think about it. The internal systems that you have, just let's play a game. This is how you can start to realize this super easily. And I don't have to convince you, or I don't have to like do anything extra. It's natural to see. If you have a significant other or someone that you like or potential match or whatever, would they become more attractive or less attractive if they had these particular skills? So when I list these skills out, these are intangible skills. When I list these out, I want you to say more or less. Okay. If they can speak well, is it more attractive or less attractive? Remember, this is an internal system. The way that you articulate yourself, the way that you communicate is a system. Are they more attractive or less attractive if they can communicate well? And let's define well. Being able to articulate themselves to be heard and understood exactly what they're looking to convey. Are they more attractive or less attractive? Okay, more. Now, let's say another intangible is being someone who can show up on time, right? You're punctual. Is that more attractive or less attractive? Let me know in the chat. More attractive or less attractive? Okay, as I continue to go, I'm going to go fast. I'm not going to slow down. Just put more or less in the chat. All I'm doing is showing you that these are the skills you would love to work on. If they have a high value within themselves, they have high characteristics where they are responsible. Are they more attractive or are they less attractive? Or can they listen, or do they listen for what someone else is intending? Are they more attractive or less attractive? Do they present themselves well? Do they show up good? Do they have a great stature about them. More attractive, less attractive. So now that we start to see a lot of these skill sets are obtainable. So I want you to think about it this way. The opportunities you have in your life is based upon your level of attraction. Now, some might say this is a gift and a curse, depending on who you are and what you're dealing with. But I want you to think about it in a simplistic nature. The more attractive you are, the more opportunities you have. Everything we just listed, you should be working on daily, working on your communication, working on how you listen to other people, working on your delivery, the way that you show up, the timing, your accountability, your leadership. If they have better leadership, are they more attractive or less attractive? This goes for women too. And I'm gonna point this out because a lot of times women in relationships, they say, oh, the man needs to lead. And I get it. I understand. You're just following what you've been told. And I understand that it kind of makes sense. But in order for any relationship to work, there must be a balance. So a man is supposed to lead and a woman is supposed to lead. Leadership. You must be a leader. If you don't have leadership and you depend on the man for all leadership, you're going to feel as if you're doing, or as if he's not doing enough, or he's not giving enough effort, right? Because technically, the void that you're looking at is your own void, but you're asking him to fulfill it, which would be an imbalance. And anytime there's an imbalance in your relationship, that's a recipe for someone to feel like it's a one-sided relationship, and therefore they cut you off, right? Or the relationship starts to go downhill. So leadership is a trait that you need to have. It does not matter whether it's a platonic relationship, romantic relationship, because relationships, um, having a leader in the relationship is the glue to any relationship. Same thing with the business. If you don't have great leaders in your business, does your business excel? Does it fail? And you can answer why, but the common denominator, everyone is going to say the same thing, and it's going to fail if you don't have great leadership. So we understand that these are the characteristics that we must have. You must show up. You must be able to provide and lead to all the things that you want other people to do, and do it for yourself. So the first mental model that we want to start to look at is independence. That's the first mental model. Can I do it by myself first? Now, there's certain things that you would love for other people to do with you, then you just express that, but you never count on people to do things that you can do. That's the first mental model. Independence. Somebody put independence in the chat. When we're talking about being more effective in less time, the way that you're going to be super effective is if you can do something independently and someone else can do something independently. Together is called interdependence. With interdependency, this is what makes a relationship excel. Let me give you an example in the sense of co-working or business. If the employer has employees that they can count on to show up and do the work and execute, then the employees can get paid and everything is flowing. If the employees can count on the executives to make sure they have the great connections so that way they can get the money so they can get paid, then they would have a great flow, great connection. So you understand it has to take interdependency. A lot of relationships fail because of dependency. And I know I get it. I get it. A lot of us become dependent or we get too attached. The second mental model is the law of detachment. You must have the law of detachment. Now, listen, if I say you must have it, I'm just saying you must have it. You don't have to listen to me. You can live the life you want to live. You can have the results you want to have. Interdependency well, first starting with interdependency. Interdependency will allow you to be able to put yourself in a position to work well with others. You ever been in one of these groups where it's like you're doing all the work and they're not? Or they're doing all of the work and you're not? And then now, I think some of us been in certain types of groups where we could feel both of those sides, right? So the idea for you is to have some sort of level of expertise within yourself first. And the expertise that we want to have is these mental models, because if we can have these mental models to help us be efficient with what we do, it'll make it easy for us to work with other people. And therefore, that's when relationships work well. Okay. So I don't want to stick too much on that, but I want you to write those two down. I want you to remember those as we go. I didn't see the second mental model in the chat. Put the second mental model in the chat. I see you have the first one, but put the second mental model in the chat. As we're coming up on the second half, If you have any questions or you have any concerns, I want you to raise your virtual hand. If you have any questions or if you have any concerns, I want you to raise your virtual hand. If you have any questions or concerns, and if you can't, just write it in the chat. Write your question in the chat. Write your question in the chat. So when it comes to having these systems, sometimes you need external systems to reinforce the internal systems. Not all the time, but sometimes you do. For example, you can go to sleep and you can program yourself to wake up at 6 a.m. Now, for me, I know I can get up at 5:30. I can get up at 6, no problem. But I also put an alarm clock to help reinforce that. So some of you already do these things. Now it's about how do you see it in a grand scheme so it can work for you on a granular level. Now, when we go into the productivity systems, I'm going to share my screen. If I can share it on Instagram, I will, but I'm going to be able to share it on Zoom and um what's this? YouTube. Zoom and YouTube. Okay. So here's the deal. Whenever we are looking to become more effective in less time, one of the external systems that we must have is a way to document what we have already done or what we're looking to do. And the oldest form of documentation is the writing, right? We'll write it down. We have a book, we'll write it down or whatever. The newest form is being able to have it digitized. Now, there's something powerful about writing it down, but there's also something powerful about having it at your convenience. So you can do both. You can write it down, you can document your journey. If you get any breakthroughs, this is how I came up with my very first flagship book. While I was going through my esophageal cancer, while I was dealing with going um, through that whole ordeal, I was writing down breakthroughs anytime I got a breakthrough. When I went to my seminars, I was writing down breakthroughs. Anytime something happened where it gave me an aha moment or I did something, I just documented it, I wrote it down. And by me writing it down allowed me to see my progress. And this was weird too, because before I looked at what I had written down, I didn't think I made progress. I thought I was just in the same situation, wondering why this is still happening. But when I looked at what I've written down, I've had progress. Can you relate to that? Put Yana in the chat if you can relate to that. YANA if you can relate to that. This right here is one of the most, I could say this, one of the most single important things you could do because it will allow you to have a resume, so to speak, of what worked and what didn't work. Imagine having a blueprint of what worked and what didn't work. But also imagine being able to measure and track your progress so you can see that you've actually elevated in certain areas that you may have not thought you have elevated in. Okay. So we're almost coming down to the second half. I will bring people up on the second half. I see you sent a request on Instagram. I'll bring you up on Instagram. Okay, cool. So now, when I say take down these mental models, the mental models help you move faster because what you do is you internalize the mental models and it becomes part of you and you can operate the way that you would like to operate whenever you are in certain situations. You know how, like, if you plan to do something and then when the situation arose, you forgot to do it. When you practice these mental models, what happens, it becomes ingrained in you. So it becomes almost as like a update. Like imagine software and your software being updated. It becomes an update so that way it runs on autopilot. That's really what we want. We want to update our autopilots. And that's why we use internal systems and external systems to be able to help us do things. So interdependency is going to be super important. That's going to be huge for your method of operation. And one of the things that I like I mentioned, is the documentation part for the external systems. The other thing that I love with the external system is being able to have something that you can travel with. That's why I mentioned the digital. So when I wrote the book originally, um, it was digital already. So I made it hard copy and then I made it a digital copy. And then I believe the digital copy has more, I sold more in a digital copy than I have in a physical. And I sold a lot in the physical. The physical is a bestseller, which makes the digital a bestseller too. But it's the digital to me was so profound because I could be on a train and I can have it on my phone. I can be on a plane, I can have it on my phone. And I can get breakthroughs and a whole bunch of downloads that way too. So you want to make sure that one of the systems that you have is digital. And a lot of times we have apps available to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a digital system, and then I'll bring you up to share any questions, any concerns, any thoughts. Okay. Let me grab this for you. So on Instagram, I'm going to share the screen by just showing you from the computer, all right? But if you're on the Zoom, you should be able to see it right now, right? Okay, so this right here is our Meltos. This is our personal performance operating system. Now, imagine this. I'm just going to read some of this stuff to you. If you like what you hear, tell me you like. If you don't like it, tell me you don't like it, right? Imagine having the clarity and direction to execute at your highest level. A system that allows you to operate with supreme confidence. Eliminate 80% of the wasted effort and become your most attractive self, all within 30 days or less. So far, is that good or is that not good? Let me know in the chat. Do you like that? You don't like it? So with Meltos, that's exactly what you get, a performance system that turns your goals into daily wins, sharpens your focus on what actually moves the needle, so that way you can reclaim 2+ hours a day for the things you love to do and the people you love to do them with. And this is not by adding more. This is about doing what matters the most. It's basically prioritizing and giving you clarity. So these are the results that we have gotten from some of the people who've used this. They reported, this is how we got the 2 hours back anyway. They reported having 2 more hours freed up in their day, and then also 3 times the productivity. So basically they reach their goals faster. And the way that we do it is real simple. If you look here, we have a method of tracking. So from Monday all the way to Sunday, we track exactly what you have completed. We give you a roadmap so you don't have to think on your own. We'll assess you, and I'll go through it real fast to show you all. But we'll assess you, and once you get your assessment, you get a roadmap. All right, so you have a built-in coach inside of it. Basically, is me, the digital version of me. So it has all my information, all my material, and it will give you the path. Now, these are the same tools that I use on my one-on-one calls, but I thought, let me see if I can put it into a digital form so that way it could be affordable, but also you can have it whenever you need it to. You can't always reach me, but if you have me in your palm of your pocket, I mean, the palm of your hand, then you'll be able to have whatever I offer to you on a daily basis, which is the roadmaps, the coaching, even vision boards, all of that. So I'm showing you right now what it looks like. Um, okay, so and this is not some cookie cutter. This is not Chat GPT, by the way. So we don't, Chat GPT. I don't mean I wouldn't trust Chat GPT for everything. Yeah, y'all can do that if you want, but I'm not doing it. Anyway, so this is what we're doing here. On this tool, it's going to allow you to keep track of your scores. So basically, one of the things that we love to put in here is at 30 seconds every morning, you get an effective score. So it shows exactly where you stand across the mindset alignments, your momentum, and basically any assignments that you have put out for yourself. We allow you to be able to have non-negotiables here that allow you to be able to execute on a daily basis. So what we'll do is send you notifications. We have a streak system that can pretty much provide you with momentum. So when you see your streak at like 1 day, 2 days, you might want to go to 3 days. And if you miss a day, let's say you missed a day. If you missed a day and you got to 4 days, like in your streak, you missed the day, now you start it back over. The next time you're probably going to want to do what? 5 days, 6 days, right? We have a streak system that can. So that always helps. Now, one thing that we do know about, maybe you don't know about, let me know in here if you do know. What's the peak window time for creativity? Put it in the chat if you know. If you don't know, this tool is going to help you with that. This is basically from 5 a.m., which is like technically you can start at 4:30, but from 5 a.m. all the way to 12 noon. Now, anyway, I'm not going to go through all of this, but that peak hour, that is the time that you should be doing the most creative work that you can do, because that is what's going to put you in a position of power, right? Now, you can believe it all you want, or you could disbelieve it. It doesn't matter or make a difference to me. I'm just here to tell you. You can always do your own research. One of the things I want you to understand though is that the sun rises for a certain reason at a certain time, and the sun sets at a certain reason for a certain reason at a certain time, right? So when you think about these two, you understand that, let me sign in. When you think about these two, you understand that there's a certain rhythm that your body is naturally supposed to be tuned into. Whatever you tune into, you turn into. If you're tuned into a high a high frequency routine, basically you're going to get a lot of results. And you can measure it this way. Think about the days that you weren't in your routine. How effective were you versus the days that you were in your routines? So this will help you be put into your routines. Let me see if I can sign in. This is my own account, but you can all sign into your own, whatever. This is what it looks like on the desktop, but there's a mobile version as well. You can use the mobile version. But as you can see, it has all of my daily goals and habits. So it's a habit matrix. So read, drinking water, learn something new, exercise. Then it has all of the tasks for the business goals, market outreach, social media content, post on social media. And then it has a bunch of other things, sales pitching, like reaching out to people, sending emails, even down to food, right? So exercise, um, eat before 8 a.m. I mean 8 p.m. I mean, yeah, 8 a.m. Eat before 8 a.m. Eat before 1 p.m. Drink 6 glasses of water, so on and so forth. These things really help move the needle because it's a reflection of you. The most important thing that I like though is basically this. Y'all all see this right here? Let me know. You can see that right there? This is telling you how accurate you were throughout the week, throughout the day. So let's say this is week one. You were super accurate. You can see that, you were able to complete 97% of your tasks. You have the notes down here, which is amazing. You can see next week, okay, where did I fall off? Okay, Monday, Tuesday, I wasn't that really active. Did I pick it up the next week? I was distracted for these last 2 weeks. Okay, now let me work harder. All right. So these are the things that I love to have because sometimes you don't know. Like you might go 3 or 4 days without going to the gym, but to you, you might just say, hey, that's not bad. Okay, I still went to the gym one time this week, 2 times, but when you look at the scope for a whole entire month, how many days have you missed out the gym? How many days have you gone? You probably went to the gym a total of 10 days, but you missed 20 days out the gym. Now, let's say you did that for 2 months straight. So you see how this starts to build up, right? And when you look at it, you missed the whole entire month at the gym, where you could be better right now than where you are. So don't take this for granted because this tool is allowing you to see any mistakes that you may have been making within your own system, your own internal system, your own consistency, your discipline, accountability, right? So I'll stop sharing that and I will bring you up. I think somebody, who was that? Twin Enigma? You were looking to come up. If you're still here, I'll bring you up. If you have any questions or concerns on clarity and direction for this week, the homework is for you to create your own system or pick out a system. All right. Twin Enigma, you're up. Are you on or I don't see you on? I don't see her on, so we'll leave her right there until she comes back. If you have any questions or concerns, just raise your virtual hand, come up and share. Remember, I asked you in the beginning, I said, was your system helping you? Was it helping you save money, energy, time? That's what your system should be doing. Any system that you have should be helping you save time, money, energy. If it's not helping you save time, money, energy, then guess what? It's draining you. And if it's draining you, then you're not going to get the results that you truly want. Okay. All right. So as we go into the second half, if I don't have any hands or any questions, then I'll just continue with the mindset. Let me get back into Zoom really quick though. All right, there we go. So let me see. Who was that? Tracy, you was asking about the cost. There's a $2 trial on that. The trial is for 7 days and it's only $2. And after the trial is up, if you like what you've gotten and you love the results, then you can just pay $9.99 per month. Or you can do yearly, and the yearly would be, I believe, like $99 or something like that. Yeah, $99. I think you get 2 months free. It's like $99, 2 months free, and then you get some other benefits and other perks to it. But everything is on that site, and I'll put the site in the chat. Everything is on that site for you. Yeah. Let me put that in the chat for you. Remember, I don't need to sell you on this. I'm showing you what I use and what we've created. And the reason why we've expanded to create this particular platform is because we know that most people need an operating system that allowed them to have feedback, right? You can give and then you can receive. So you can give information and then you can receive information, get a little feedback to allow you to see if you're working optimally. The biggest priority, I mean, the biggest issue is prioritization. Most people just do not prioritize the things that matter the most that will move the needle. And that is what I see that causes the biggest roadblock. Because once you have that stalemate, you start to get confusion. And when you have confusion, you lack confidence. And then now you start to like play a little small. But that's the biggest thing. I mean, I believe that everybody who's on these calls with us are already powerful. You already have things that work. You just have to prioritize what is moving the needle the fastest, what is moving you forward, what is helping you progress. And from there, you'll be good to go. And the other part is having a component where you can bounce ideas off someone. If you're looking to just do it on your own, that's where you can do a lot, but you won't go that far on your own. Just naturally speaking, the way that life is with us, we are meant to be with each other. We love connection. We love connecting to one another. And the more we are connected, the stronger we are. So, what mental models work for you? So, for me, the mental models that work for me is basically what I mentioned earlier, right? Having that interdependency, but also being independent, knowing that I can pull my weight and the people around me, they can pull theirs. So I would say for you, being in an environment where other people are self-sufficient and independent. Any other questions? Any other concerns? Anything that you have that you would love to ask? Let me check the YouTube. Okay, cool. So, all right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so we should be good, right? We should be good. This is the last thing I want to leave you with. When it comes to getting paid to be who you want to write these three things down: stature, significance, and systems. Stature, significance, and systems. Stature, significance, and systems. Write that down for yourself. When you have the stature is who you are. What do you represent? So that's going to be first and foremost. Basically, it's your identity, right? When people see you, like, how do they identify you? Your significance is your importance. Like, why do you matter? Why do you matter? Why do you matter? What impact do you make on other people? And your systems is how you pull it all together to be able to monetize it. All of the other people, right? Like, let's say the money that you want that's in your pocket, money that you want is in other people's pockets. The only way that you're going to get that is if you provide some sort of value to them, some sort of significance to them. All the money that's in your pocket is not even your money. It's your decision-making power. You get to move that money into a certain place that either brings money back to you or brings opportunity towards you. Even down to what you eat, right? If you spend money on food that's healthy, you're giving yourself a better opportunity to think clearer, think bigger, and also live longer, be healthier. If you're putting your money and making a decision to put your money in places that's going to bring you back dis-ease or discomfort or sickness, then you're hurting your chances for the future And we all know that, but knowing means nothing. It's not about what you know, it's about what you are doing and who you're doing it with. So, stature significant systems. You need a system to make sure you can monetize this. Some of you have gifts, but you're not using your gifts. Some of you have gifts, and when someone praises you on your gift, you get a little shy. You say, "Hey, oh, I'm not this. Oh, I'm not that." You turn away the compliment. So I want you to think stature, significant systems. Stature, significant systems. That's the model for getting paid to be who you are. Stature, significant systems. So before I let you all go within the next 15 minutes, what is your stature going to be? Like, how would people know you? What do you do? What are you out to accomplish? What do you represent? When they look at you, what do they see? And then I want you to write down your significance. Why? How is it impacting someone? And which systems are you using to bring it all together? Which systems are you using to bring it all together? Oh, I should have brought my hard drive. I had a hard drive. I could play this video for you all. Um, Let me see if I could see if I have it on my computer real quick.
Wait, what? Yeah,
See if I have it on my computer. Hold on. Okay, I don't have it on my computer, but I'll find that on my hard drive. And the next time we have the Mindset Monday, I can bring that to you all. I can bring that to you. Yeah, I don't have it on here. Okay, last model is renovate, innovate, collaborate. So we have stature, significance, and systems, right? Everyone's clear on that? Stature, significance, and systems. That is the formula to getting paid to be who you are. That's how you're going to monetize your gifts. And the last formula, I think a lot of us know this one, is RIC, renovate, innovate, collaborate. Renovate, innovate, collaborate. So you're going to renovate on what's already there. You're going to innovate, put your own twist, signature spin on it, and then you're going to collaborate with people who are already doing that thing. So I always love to use the examples for like Uber. The person who created Uber, they renovated which industry? The taxi transportation industry. They renovated taxi transportation industry. And with that, they put an innovation on it, right? So first, the renovation part was instead of having to call up the taxi company, instead of having to go outside and put your thumb out there, instead of having to say, "Hey, I'm going to Brooklyn," and then they speed off on you and don't take you to Brooklyn, they put an app in place where now you can pay upfront on the app. You can see the destination, how long it's going to take to get there. You can see the routes. You can see the driver. You can see the passenger. So all of this is here now on the app, which revolutionized the way that we use taxi systems. And they collaborated with the everyday person, the person who already has their own vehicle. Makes sense? Uber did not have a fleet of vehicles. You do not have to have a fleet of vehicles. You do not have to have it all to get started. All you need is the components that work with other people. Now, I'll give you an example of that too, which would be with Netflix and what's the other place? Apple Music. Apple Music, they don't make the music, but they control the flow of the music. Netflix didn't make the movies, but they control the flow of the movies. Uber didn't make the transportation vehicles, but they controlled the flow of the vehicles. So we start to see that controlling the flow of whatever, you being the hub, controlling the flow is going to help you be a little bit more successful. Now, it's easier said than done, but if you think about being the hub, you have more opportunities because now you're being the base which everyone can connect to. So for your business, I would like for you to think agency model, right? If you're doing renovate, innovate, collaborate. So for you, Albertine, if you run a clothing design company, you want to start to think agency level. You want to start to think, okay, how can I put something in space or in place where other people who already do designs like how I do designs and give them a platform to get either more clients out of it or to connect with other designers or to collect and collaborate with events. You have to think about being the hub because that's where you're going to get paid the most. It's going to give you back more time and it's going to give you more freedom and flexibility. Uber did not have to go out and drive and make all the deliveries for them. You know, whoever created Uber, they didn't go out there and make all the deliveries themselves. They contacted people who already was looking to do a little something extra to make some change, and they became a hub. They said anyone who's looking to make extra dollars by making deliveries or driving people around, here's how you can do it. Here's how you can get started without even having a taxi license. I think you still have to do a qualification, but they changed the way that the way that it approaches. They went to an agency model. Same thing with Apple Music. They went to an agency model. They paid the artists for people having subscriptions, but then that's billions of dollars. So there's nothing to get to pay the artists, right? So for you, Albertine, for you, for any one of you, you can start to think about how could you be the hub if you're in your city? How could you have events that bring out more designers that connect designers to more clients? You can get paid off of that alone. And that's some of you all, that's not your level right now, but that will be your next level to ascend to, and you'll be able to move into the agency part where you're able to utilize that renovate, innovate, collaborate method to its fullest as an agency owner. And it's not just being able to control the flow of how things move, but it's also being able to control where things are stored. And I'll just give you a quick history lesson on this, right? This is super important. You must know the economic era that you live in right now. The economic era that you live in is the era of AI technology. If you can capitalize on AI technology, you can make a lot of money, but you can make a lot of impact. But I want you to not depend on AI technology as a consumer. Now, let's just get to the point of it. So back in the 2000s, right, the people who controlled the flow of information were the people who got super wealthy. I want you to think about that. The companies who controlled the flow of information got super wealthy. When you think about those companies, who might those companies be? Yahoo, Bing, Google, right? Then Wikipedia started to come along. The, After that, the economic era was no longer about control of information flow. It's still hugely part of it. I'm just saying you have to follow these mechanisms because if you follow this will work for you. And so around 2008, 2010, the new economic era was about where to store the information. So you think about companies, even, well, Google still came along, but Facebook, YouTube, places like that, where you start to see where you can store the information, but they still control the flow of information. Make sense? So this is why you see Google that they're not running out of business because they keep evolving, they keep acquiring new businesses, they keep acquiring small businesses, and they keep growing. So you want to do the same thing, renovate, innovate, collaborate. You want to keep renovating, innovating, and then collaborating with people who already do what it is you're looking to do. And then when you think about the 2000s and early 2000s, that flow wasn't so much about the store of information, but it was about influencers. It was about who can have the greatest influence. This is where you see the dominance or the influx of influencers coming in early 2020s, right? 2018 start to really creep in. 2020s it dominated where you can have people from their living room hosting Zoom classes like this and getting paid for it. This wasn't a thing like that. People could do it, but it wasn't a thing like that where it became such a widespread phenomenon that you can see the everyday person cash it in on being able to teach skills that they've already learned. Like there was people who were during the pandemic teaching people how to play drums and do play the piano. And in some cases, it was just that time of the pandemic that even allowed them to even think that they could do it. Like even though they could have done it way earlier, it's just sometimes certain things have to fall in place for you to realize and recognize. But the thing is, if you don't move with speed, you can catch the tail end of the economic era and you can miss out on the money. Okay, you can miss it. So this is why we like if you ever had an idea, the idea came to you, and if you didn't act on the idea went away and somebody else act on it. And then guess what? You're sitting there saying, that was my idea. I thought of that. Yeah, but you didn't do it. This is why becoming more effective in less time is priority for you. You must be effective with your time because time never sleeps, but you do. So if you do, time never sleeps, you're always going to play catch up to your time. And some of you are ahead of your time. You just got to stay consistent, right? So what I want you to think is that now the economic era of AI is here, but AI is going to transcend into VR and AR, right? Are we aware of that? That we can see that's happening already, where I can be sitting right here, but I can put a cloak on and I can look like a celebrity and I could be talking to you and have the voice like a celebrity, but I'm really not a celebrity. I'm just me behind the celebrity. Have we seen that already? Have you all seen that? That's AR. That's AR. So you're going to have artificial reality and virtual reality start to be the next domino that falls. So get ahead of this stuff. Be ahead of it. And when you understand economic errors, this will allow you to be in the forefront. This is why I keep saying to you, like the fact that I have a lot of time the way that I have it now is because I was ahead of my time, because I understood the economic era. So I got on it and I was able to put myself in a position to be able to have more time, freedom, flexibility. But I'm also giving it to you. I'm also giving it to you, right? It's like an exchange. It's okay. If I give you what allowed me to have this time and freedom and flexibility, you exchange that with money. So you give me something that's valuable, I give something to you that's valuable. Just like before I learned all of this, I gave somebody else money that was valuable. They gave it to me. What was valuable on their end, and now I am sitting in this space, right? So now you could do the same thing. You pay me, I give you my tools. You go on and win. This is what we do already. When you go out and you go buy new clothes, or you buy old clothes, or you go to the vintage shop and then you go pick up clothes that people wore already, it's still the same thing. The principle never changes the way it looks does, but the principle doesn't. So when I say renovate, innovate, collaborate, when Netflix took over Blockbuster's market, when they renovated, innovated, collaborate, it was nothing different from Uber taking over the taxi transportation, how you say, arena, right? It was nothing different. The same principle: renovate, innovate, collaborate. It's never going to change. And you all could do the same thing too. You could look at your situation. Okay, well, how can I be better? Well, you're going to pay for the systems to make you better. When you went and got a car, you didn't go to the person at the dealership and say, just give me the car for free. No, you paid for it. And when you pay for it, you got your car and now you're able to move. So you're going to pay me to get the systems, and I'm going to give you the systems that's going to allow you to be successful. And then you're going to be super successful. Then someone's going to ask you, hey, how did you do this? And you're going to say, hey, I did it like this. And they're going to pay you. It's the same thing. It's never not going to happen. It's always going to be like this. And it has always been like this. We call it mentorship. Before it used to be apprenticeship. And in some cases, it was internship. But the principle still remains the same. You are renovating who you are. You're learning a new skill. You're learning something new about who you are. Then you're going to change and transform that new skill into who you are and alter how you operate. And then you're going to collaborate with other people. It's never going to change. Even when you apply for the job, it's still the same. Hey, I need to look for a job. You start to renovate who you are. This is the job you're looking for. This is the job you're applying for. You go and you have the conversations. You work with them. They say, yes, I want to hire you. You get the interview and you say, hey, boom, you're in. And now you're innovating how you're operating. You're no longer looking for the job. You have the job, and now you're executing on the job. And you're collaborating with other people, which would be coworkers, and your employer or your supervisor. It doesn't change. It's all the same principles. And like I mentioned to you, the difference between a genius and the person that's average in the classroom is the recognition of patterns. The genius can recognize the patterns faster. That's all it is. When you're tutoring and you're training your children at the dinner table or whatever, when you're teaching them, it's the same thing. You're just giving them the patterns, you're giving them the secrets of how to do it fast. I'm doing the same thing for you, and you're going to do the same thing for the next person, the same thing for the next person, and that's how it's always been. But the people that rise to the top are the people who understand the economic errors. If I'm talking about doing everything manual, and this person is talking about doing everything automatic, chances are most people are going to flock to the person who's showing everybody how to do things automatically, right? Now, I want to flip this on your head a little bit. Even though we're talking about becoming more effective in less time, I still have a silent enemy. My silent enemy is AI technology because AI technology is actually robbing you of your abilities. You may not believe it right now. You may think I'm making this stuff up. Just do your own research and just look at it for what it is. The fact that we have calculators and we have phones, we've forgotten a lot of natural mechanics that we need to make our brain accelerate. Right? When your body moves, your brain grooves, but we don't even move like that anymore because we have automation everywhere. So by having automation and convenience, we are eliminating our cognitive abilities to think clearly and faster, right? And to be able to manifest at a higher level. I don't want to get off topic because we have a few minutes left before we close, but that's my silent enemy. And my enemy is going to come out a little bit later. I still use AI and I still want you to use AI. I'm saying don't be dependent on AI because think about it. You're giving AI all of your information and you just keep giving it to him and giving it to him. Eventually, it just gives it back to you, and you no longer need to use your own imagination. You no longer need to use your own brain. And therefore, now you start to get dumbed down. It's so crazy that we have smartphones and then now we have dumb people. No, that not to be disrespectful. I'm saying think about it. I'm saying think about it. If you don't use it, you lose it. Make sense? If you don't use it, you lose it. Your brain is the greatest muscle. If you're not working it out, guess what? It's getting weaker. It's getting weaker. So your job is to become more effective in less time, but your job is to also use your brain so that way your brain becomes like that. Your brain becomes the machine. That's what I'm referring to. So you could become the machine. You don't want the machine to become you, and that's what ChatGPT is doing. Taking all of your information. That's what Instagram is doing. I know we're on Instagram. They're going to shut me down for saying it, but you don't need me to tell you it to see that it's happening. Like nowadays, before you used to call your family and friends up to check on them. Now you could just go right on their page and see how they're doing and go, all right, cool. I see they're doing good. And then forget about it. Before you used to have to write numbers down and write the phone numbers down. Now you just put it in the phone, never have to think about it again, press the button, and it just goes. You don't think that's a problem later on in life? You don't think that depending on internet is a problem where all of what you have is in the phone? Imagine that everything you have is in the phone. All of your passcodes, all of your devices intertwined into the phone. What else is in the phone? Your wallet is in the phone. Imagine one day there's no internet. I know you're going to say, oh, there's never going to be a day like that. You never thought pandemic was going to happen the way that they did the pandemic where they told everybody, think about how crazy it was. They told you, and it's not to be disrespectful. I'm saying think. That's all I'm saying. They put a mask on your face, told you to stay 6 feet back. They say, hey, have your mask on when you enter the restaurant. But when you sit down, you can take the mask off to eat. Stevie Wonder could see that was crazy. I'm just telling you that in reality, what may seem like a great idea or what may seem like something that is smart, it may not be smart, but if you're not using your brain, then you would never know. So I don't mean to make you feel wrong or make you feel bad. I'm not coming at anyone. You all know the first rule to this right here. Don't take anything personal. That's the first rule, please. Because I'm not here to hurt you or make fun of you or make you feel bad. But when it comes to love, you need both the soft love and you need the tough love. It just is what it is. And this is the tough love. Stop depending on AI in your phones because it's hurting your brain. It's making you think less. And when you think less, you can't think more. Never mind. I'll just stop right there, drink some water. Anyway, it's 8:30 on the East Coast. So it's time to get ready to close. Renovate, innovate, collaborate. Make sure you use that. Stature significant systems. Make sure you use that. And if you want to get to Melt Toast, go to, let me put it in the chat. Actually, DM me. I don't want to like force it upon you. Only if you reach out to me, I'll give it to you. If you want the Meltos operating system where you can get back 2+ hours of your day each day, you can reach your goals 80% faster, 3 times faster, then go ahead and DM me productivity. DM me the word productivity. Remember, it's $2. You spend that on a McNugget or whatever it's called, and it doesn't give you anything but extra calories. After the $2 trial, you can choose $19 or $9 per month. You could do a yearly thing, but what it gets you is way far more. I want you to think about this too. Ooh, put this down in your other mental model. This is a bonus one. Price, payoff, cost. Price is what you pay. Cost is what you give up. Payoff is what you gain. If the cost of you spending $2, like let's say you spend $2, but the cost is you giving up bad habits in order to replace them with new habits, that's a great cost. That's a no-brainer for $2. I'll take that. That's a no-brainer for $9. It's a no-brainer for $19.99. That's why we priced it that way. Now, I want you to think about the other way. If you reversed it, the price you don't pay, you pay $0 because you don't pay, but the cost is you live the same life. Instead of having 2+ hours each day, you're overworked and you're underpaid. Instead of being able to make your own schedule, you're having to go above and beyond for everyone else and never getting your own peace. If that's what you want, the cost of you can give all that up, but if you pay $0, you get to keep it all. You don't give anything up. And then guess what? The payoff is you being right that you didn't have to spend the money. Wow. So all you gained was just being right that you didn't have to spend the money. I think if you reversed it and you saw it as I paid $2 and I got this amount of impact, got this amount of productivity, and I got all of this, I got the 2 hours each day, I got the 3 times faster goal completion, 80% closer to my goals. I think that would be something that would be more valuable of a gain. Now, that's just me, and that's how I'm wired. And that's why I'm successful in my own way. I'm not saying this is what you need to be successful. I'm speaking on principles, and I'm saying that if you look at any successful people, they're going to be these type of people where they're going to be a person who is more attractive in what they do because that is what brings them opportunities. Remember we mentioned that in the beginning? If you're more punctual, you're more attractive. Let's finish off with the more attractive or less attractive as we leave. Okay? Is it more attractive for you to be punctual? More attractive or less attractive? Just put more or less in the chat. Is it more attractive for you to finish what you start? More attractive or less attractive? Is it more attractive to track your goals so that way you know what you're prioritizing, so that way you don't waste time? Is it more attractive or less attractive? And I want you to think from the significant other, right? Because if your significant other, let's say you're going on a date. Hey, babe, be ready by 7. All right, cool. And then they're not ready by 9. Is that more attractive or less attractive? But let's say you call them and you say, hey, be ready by 7. They were ready waiting by 6:55. And they had a flower on your arrival. Is it more attractive or less attractive? So it's really black and white and it's super simple. So remember, keep simplicity at the core, ladies and gentlemen, because we are trained to be against what's for us and for what's against us. So just revert back to simplicity so you can see what it is and you make a good choice based upon price, payoff, and cost. With that being said, I'm out of here. If you need the systems, go ahead and DM me systems. Go ahead and DM me productivity. If you want the Meltos app, you are the best of the best, the top of the top, the cream of the crop. Believe it or not, hey, your next level is loading. I believe in you. I don't have to know your history to understand your energy. If you are on this call with me and you're talking about mindset, that you're somebody who wants to have a greater level of life. So if we know that, let's continue to work. Let's continue to band. Let's continue to move forward. If you need me, you know where I'm at. Peace, love, and beautiful energy. Let's go out with some music, and I will see you all on the next call. If you haven't subscribed to the emails or subscribed to the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube. We made it to 500 followers. Congratulations. Congratulations. Or subscribers in this case. 500 subscribers. Now we want to go for 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate you. Thank you for everyone who's already part of the YouTube. Let's continue to make those videos go up. We love you. Peace, love, and beautiful energy, ladies and gentlemen. I am out of here. Peace.
It's the moment the sun won't set on us, nah. Drums keep knocking, hearts unlocking, we gon' soar. Feel it rising, horizon brighter than before. This year, best year ever for sure. Yeah, hustle got a rhythm, heartbeat of ambition. Every step precision, every move a vision. Sweat dripping, but the grind feel electric. From boardrooms to back streets, connections magnetic. Turn dreams into contracts, ink 'em with conviction. Each shake a ripple, a bigger mission. From me to you, build a vision, no division. Bet on better days, not as my tradition. We don't stop, nah, we elevate. Every loss yet, it educate. From the ashes, rebuild a state. This year, I'll let the doubters debate. This the best year ever, no doubt in my mind. Every star aligns, success intertwined. Hands up, hearts up, to the sky we climb. Best year ever, leave the past behind. This the best year ever, best year, let's shine. Keep the beat alive, we rise in time.
Unity, the currency, wealth in the people. Helping hands stack high, we building the steeple. Echoes of the drum, they carry our sequel. Better me, better you, yeah, the vibe is lethal. Power and belief, it sparks like a fire. Lift each other higher, the only desire. Waves of change crash, we the ocean's quiet. Chanting desire, truth never expires. Feel it in the air, it's a rush, it's a tide. Purpose in the motion, we collide, we unite. Euphoria erupts, every step justified. This year, best year amplified. This year.